and welcome back to the 40-day challenge and embracing the race. Today is day 35. Last week, I can't believe I've been doing this for however many weeks it's been, but I've really enjoyed it and I hope you have too. I hope you enjoy this background that's happening. I'm actually using the green screen effect that iMovie has. This was a place that my family and we went and hiked to yesterday. We were trying to go up for sunset, didn't really work out, it was a little too cloudy, but I just thought I'd do something a little different for the Embracing the Race video. So anyway, today's devotion is called Who's Behind You? She starts with verses from 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble. With the comfort we comfort comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Okay, so she starts off telling the story. She was at a run group and she finished up her run, checking her watch, just like all of us. We look at how we did our numbers, and her pace was a little slower than she would have liked, and she was a little disappointed. And then she hears from behind her, somebody trying to get her attention saying, "Hey, wait up." And it was someone new to the group, and she hadn't met them yet. And she's like, "Man, you keep a really consistent pace. I was running behind you the whole time, and we stayed same distance apart, but they were keeping the same pace." So the author thought that was really cool and got to make a new friend and found out that this person was training for their first half marathon. And at this point, the author had participated in a handful of half marathons, and so was able to offer some advice and encouragement to this new half marathoner. So she says that no matter what your pace is, just like we talked about on another day, that no matter how fast you are, there's probably somebody faster than you. And just like that, there's always going to be someone behind you, someone that's new at doing this, as far as running is. She talks about brand new runners venturing out for the very first time, runners lacking confidence. It's me sometimes. Runners who don't know what's up ahead. And she's, points out that all those runners, those new runners, younger runners, are where you used to be. That used to be you just starting out. And I know, definitely for me, I love to seek stories and advice from people who have been where I want to go. I've asked so many questions of my sister and brother-in-law of what Run Disney races are like. Because, you wake up at crazy hours and there's lots of people and things to do, and how those courses are set out. So many questions. And my running buddy that I run with where I live, I've asked her questions about shoes, socks, clothes, just because she's ran, I don't know how many marathons she's ran, but she's definitely ran plenty of half marathons. She's definitely ran, I think, at least a couple marathons. I know at least one, but I think she's ran a few. So she's a wealth of information, and I've asked my dad for information and guidance on things to do, because they've all been doing this longer than I have. We all do that, I think, as runners, is we seek those that have that experience when we have questions. So she goes on to say that just like that, in the race of faith is what she calls it, or I call it our faith walk, there are going to be people that aren't as far along as we are in our faith, new Christians and younger people. And it doesn't always have to be someone younger than you. It could be someone older than you that has just come to the faith. And is new to that whole thing. And she points out that sometimes we can get so caught up in our own thing that we forget to look around and find those people that need that encouragement. And this is what I was thinking. I had written the word "look" off to the side, that we got to keep our eyes open and look for those people. And I thought this too, and she had written it in the next paragraph that it's just as important to God. I think they're both important, that He does His work in us, in our heart. but he also wants us to take that and go out and share it with people. He cares just as much as that we share what we've learned and what he's done in our lives as the actual act of him doing stuff in our lives. I think it's a well-rounded thing. I'm not very eloquent today in my words, but you see what I'm saying. He cares about both aspects of that in our faith walk, or the work in us and then sharing it. So she closes with making sure that we keep our eyes open and keep a lookout and ask God to put people like that in your path, because there's somebody that could use encouragement from you. There is some part of your story that someone else is going to need to hear, and hear what God did for you and through you in that particular instance. The author says, I promise you that you won't have to look very long. There will always be someone beginning to crawl into a path you've just finished running. Ask God to show you, and don't be surprised when they soak up your encouragement like a breath of fresh air. Okay, the questions. Do you find yourself too preoccupied with your own pace in life? Well, I mentioned that one of my prayers for me is to try to be more sensitive to when I'm going about my daily business, God working through me. Like I've talked about, that there have been instances where I was like, I could have spoken to that person, or I could have helped that person, I could have prayed for that person. Not necessarily somebody that I even knew, but I didn't, and I missed out on giving a blessing and being blessed at the same time. And I don't know if it's because I'm too preoccupied with my own pace that I've missed those opportunities, but it's definitely just being self-conscious and not being confident and bold. And that's what he wants us to be, is confident and bold in our faith. Genuinely pray and ask God to show you who's behind you at this season of life. What is the next step you can take to pour into that person? Gotta find that person first. If you're feeling anxious, ask God for his peace. That's my thing. I usually feel nervous and anxious, and like I've proven in this video and probably all the other ones, I'm not very eloquent with my words. Like I don't like to pray out loud. I feel like I'm one of those people that looks at other people and I'm like, man, they're such good prayers. They speak with ease, and I'm just like, I just, So I think that's part of what makes me nervous about talking to other people is I can't always phrase what I'm thinking in my head, phrase it in the right way. But in that same way, and Moses wasn't given the opportunity. He even though God said he'd given the words, he still didn't want to do it. So Aaron was the one that shared the words. But that's how sometimes I feel when Moses is like, I am not a good speaker. Why are you putting this on me, type thing. But you give him the opportunity, and I know this. God will give you the words to say. If he wants you to speak to a particular person, he will give you the words to say, and I have to remember that. So, she closes with Romans chapter 15, verse 1. We who are strong in faith should help the weak with their weaknesses, and not please only ourselves. And the other verse that I thought of, and I can't remember what it is, and I didn't look it up before I got on here, but most people have heard the verse where it says, bear one another's burdens. I believe it goes, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. I think that's how the verse goes, but he created us to be relational people. He created us to have relation with him. He created us to have relation with all of his creation, all of his human creation. Even though there are people that are introvert and don't like being in like big groups of people, even those introverts have those one or two people that are, their people. We were made to be in relationship with each other. And I think it's a vital part of our faith walk is to bear one another's burdens, offer encouragement, do life together. I've always loved that particular phrase, to do life together, because it is way easier to do this life with others than to try to do it by yourself. So find those people, find your circle. definitely easier to do life with friends. So, but definitely as far as this one goes, this isn't even talking about necessarily friends. It's finding those maybe strangers that you see, may cross paths with every day and you just never realized it. And find moments to offer encouragement to others, because goodness knows we need it right now. But so I hope everyone is doing well, and I'm hoping that the next time I do one of these, I will not be wearing these anymore. I'm going to get a checkup on my poor little eye. So hopefully it's good enough that I can start wearing contacts again. That would be nice. So I will see you tomorrow for day 36.